Welcome to Creativism, the show for creatives, filmmakers, Christians, and productivity nerds. I'm your host, Josh the Creative. Okay, so in this final episode of this series that I have not defined or given a title, but we've been starting off with the negative. We understand what failure is, what it is to feel like a failure. We've analyzed discouragement and fear, and we've understood, or at least gotten the tools to fight those negative ways of being. And we started to shift our story. We understood what our limiting belief is, what our negative story was, and we have flipped it around. We've seen the positive in that story. We redefined that. We've written it down so that moving forward, we are not deterred as easily. And we've even, in the previous episode, we talked about now facing that goal with a new mindset, breaking it down so we don't get overwhelmed. So now we're going to look at how we actually build what I've been calling the goal tree. Now, I'm going to start off by going once again back to the Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. I feel like I'm shameless plugging these books in, but I mean, honestly, like as far as self-help books, these are the Success Habits and the Slight Edge are the only two books I ever bought in this field. So, I can't say that they're the best ones, but they're the ones that I know, and I've gotten so much value out of them. So I'm going to keep talking about them because they're going to stay relevant in a lot of stuff that I do in ways I'm applying, being productive, setting goals for myself, and trying to achieve those goals. So Graziosi talks about, taking assessing your goal a year from now. We kind of envision it one year from now, and we ask ourselves, what does it look like? And then, so I take that idea and then break it down. Okay, let's say a year from now, I want to be editing my short film, not filming, but editing. Okay, so I take that and break it down to the next half year to get there. So in half a year, I should be filming. I should be, I should be halfway done filming, more than likely. And then break that down to some further steps. Now so I'm going to say it right now, and just so I don't confuse you. So we can break it down either by time. So like a year from now, half a year from now, 3 months from now, a week from now, and then tomorrow. Or you can break it down in just levels, or like for this film, it's kind of easy to break it down. There's a post-production, production, and pre-production, and there's the setting up for the pre-production. So we can break it down by time or like levels in that goal, and they can honestly be one and the same. So a year from now, I want to be on the last level of the film, post-production. Half a year from now, I want to be filming. I want to be in production. 3 months from now, I want to be gathering and culminating a crew. And I also want to be working on the pre-production, setting up the storyboard, setting up the mood, the vibe, the feel, getting those shots prepared, understanding the cinematography approach that I can actually apply to the film. And I've also applied the slight edge concept into this goal tree. So really quick, the slight edge, it's pretty much taking small, repeatable steps, insignificant but important steps over a long period of time that is going to build up into eventual success. That's the slight edge in a nutshell. He pretty much explains in the first chapter. And just so you understand that practically, we'll just take finances. We'll take like a savings fund or vacation fund so it's not stressful. a slight edge approach to building a vacation fund is taking $5 a week and putting it into that separate savings fund and doing that consistently and for a long period of time. So I'm going to do some math real quick, just so we can all kind of understand how impactful that small little bit is going to be in the long run, and why those small little bits are going to apply for this goal tree. So let's say $5 a week. So in a month, that's $20. Well, in 12 months, that's $240. Okay. Well, and let's say we're saving up right now for a big vacation in a couple of years. So say 3 years. That's $720. So that may not seem like a whole lot, but if you think about the vacation that you can be taking with that, if you wanted to take that tomorrow with your finances, you may not be able to just throw away $720. But accommodating to what you're able to do, putting a little bit to the side over and over and over. So going back to the goal tree, so going back from the top, we have that main goal, and we've broken it down to what it takes to get there. We take that, break it down to some next steps, some shorter term goals. We take that and break it down to repeatable steps. And this isn't really a level of this isn't necessarily based on level of importance or anything, but it's just what fits in this category that you can do over and over and over. Like for me, the storyboarding I can do over and over because it takes me a while to kind of sketch out one scene. So that step would be take my lunch breaks. I talked about before, taking advantage of your time. So taking my hour lunch breaks, having like that 30 minutes a day, maybe 2 weeks, sketching out every shot that I'm wanting to do. And then the next repeatable step is working on the cinematography, taking a day each week to work on each shot that I'm trying to accomplish. And this level can also keep you in a momentum of progress, because even if you're not working on the big things, you're still working on the small parts of it. So, if you're trying to recruit people, or you're trying to, you have a goal that takes some big steps. You have to put some huge things in place. You may also have some small things, some daily things you can put into place, like reading about the thing you're trying to do, listen to a podcast about what you're trying to do, doing that over and over, just so that while you're waiting for the next opportunity, you're still training and developing your mindset to focus on that. And then I like to end this tree with immediate steps. Like, what can I do tomorrow to get this started? Well, for me, what that was, because I've already started the pre-production aspect, it was planning out pretty much what I need for this film, writing out the pre-production and all that kind of stuff. What things I need to achieve in the pre-production, the production, the post-production. That was the immediate next step. And now I'm taking that step to the next immediate next step. That may sound a little jumbled up, but now I can pick dates. So now my next step is, okay, I know all these things I want to do, but now I have to decide. Now I have to decide to pick a date, a deadline. I mentioned before in the previous episode, giving yourself limits and deadlines. If I think that I have until the end of the year to have pre-production done, I will take the end of the year to do it. But I'm going to give myself a deadline that starting in November, I have to be on this level of the goals, and before December they have to be finished so I can move on to the next thing. Now, what I want to do is I'll probably include is some type of link to like a screenshot or picture of what my goal tree is now. But eventually I want to build like a template for you to work with, to analyze and kind of make your own. So I'm going to be working on that. I may not have it up. I'll try to have it up by the time this episode comes out, where it's going to break down on the side. It's going to be like a grid. And what I like to do, you can actually apply this to multiple projects at the same time within the same grid. I am a multitasker on the level of I try to handle multiple projects at the same time. So right now, this podcast is a project. The short film is a project. So I'm doing things for each of these. So I have to kind of break down in that goal tree, because for me, it's a nice visual to get to really see where I'm trying to go, what I need to get there, and what am I doing right now to help. And on the side is going to have those levels. And I actually like to color code mine because if I have those multiple goals that I can see in each one, okay, I'm on like the blue level with all these different tasks or whatever. There's something I think very powerful about taking your goal a year from now, because we're so caught up in the present. I mean, it's good to be caught up in the present, right here, right now is right here, right now. But there are some things that we can't just haphazardly walk into. We have to have a plan, a path to help us to get there. So taking that moment to see, I have this new, if you have a business idea you're working on, really take a look and see where you want to be with that in 5 years or 1 year. And then take that goal tree to break it down and ask yourself, who do I need to get in contact with to get me there? What resources do I need? What tools do I need? What actions do I need to take right now to get me into that line of success? So that pretty much wraps up this whole series. I think it's 7 parts now. Pretty sure if I did it in the right order and I added what I need to add, it's been seven parts. And I really hope that you have gotten to this side of the series a new person, a changed person, a more positive mindset, at least on the level of understanding, you're not going to tolerate fear. You're not going to tolerate those things that have been holding you back. You're going to look forward to aim for what God is really calling you to do. And I hope to have given you proper tools and resources to redirect your mindset. And that's what this whole thing has really been, is redirecting your mindset. Take a look at where it is now, shifting it to where it needs to be. Because everything starts in the mind, in the physical aspect. Our belief is going to take precedence in the mind and pour out into what we do. So, and I mentioned this before, if we allow ourselves mentally to be stuck, to be complacent, to be lazy, that is going to reflect in our actions. That is going to reflect in those around us. They're going to see what we're doing. So we need to change that. We need to say, I want this to change. We need to take the necessary precautions to be prepared for those obstacles of fear and discouragement, because they're still going to come. I mean, you're still trying to succeed. So, none of this was to say that you'll never face discouragement or fear or failure. You'll never face downtime, or I guess times of feeling down. But this is acknowledging what the enemy is trying to do to bring us down, and having the tools to say, no, I'm not going to tolerate this, because I'm not going to give into this, because So I really hope that you're able to move forward a new and changed person. Thanks for listening. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share this with your friends and be on the lookout for the next episode. They come out every Wednesday morning. You can follow me on Instagram at _Josh the Creative, and you can find my music on SoundCloud under Lewis Effect. I'll catch y'all next week. Deuces.